Welcome y'all to the Front Porch on WWCB 1370 Kickin' Country. Come on up, sit a spell. We have great music, good conversation, and a whole lot of fun. Now look here, it's your hosts, the Front Porch Rockers, Connie, Rose, and Margaret. Ladies, take it away.
Welcome. Here we are again at WWCB AM 1370 Kickin' Country. This is the Front Porch, and I'm Connie.
Margaret.
I'm Rose.
And we're known as the Front Porch Rockers. And it is our great pleasure today to have with us Kelly Sheldon, who is not only a guitar player, but he's also a singer-songwriter. And he does write some really
interesting,
amusing,
interesting and amusing and rather comical songs. So, with that being that, I would like to introduce to you our distinguished guest, Kelly Sheldon. Welcome, Kelly. How are you today?
I'm good. I don't know how distinguished I am, but I'm good and I'm here.
So, Kelly, how old were you when you first picked up a guitar?
About 13. My dad was out drinking one night, and another guy in the bar needed money for beer, and he bought his guitar for $10 and he gave it to me.
Well, that's
Do you
interesting.
still have it?
Yeah, I still have it.
And that's how you got started.
That's how I got started.
Did you take lessons right off, or you just?
I never took lessons. That's why I have never advanced.
Sounds pretty good to me. You've written a lot of music, played a lot of music, and had a lot of fun.
That's pretty much what I do is have fun.
Well, we want to know about your music, and we want to know some things about you. What you enjoy, how you write your music. We want to know a lot of things. So,
well, besides writing music, I understand, Kelly, that you're also a beekeeper.
I'm a beekeeper. I have 17 hives.
oh.
Make your own honey.
Oh, they make the honey. I steal it.
Well, that's
So
Rose. Do you have any interesting questions to ask Kelly today?
well, I guess I'd like to know how Kelly. So you taught yourself to play guitar,
Right.
and how did you get into writing?
It's just something that always came natural for me. I would see something and it would trip something in my head, and I'd start working on the words and put a rhythm with it while I was working on the words, whatever it was, and it would just come out.
Were you writing? Did you do poetry in high school or something like that? Did you write in high school?
I did some poetry, but I saw my English lit teacher at our 20th high school reunion, and she couldn't believe that I was writing anything that rhymed. So.
Well, she doesn't know what she's missing in some of the songs. Who were some of your influences in terms of music and that you...
Well, I was a teenager in the 60s, so of course I listened to the Beatles and all that kind of stuff, and I played in a basement band with Don Wisniewski and another friend, and Don's playing in the band I'm playing in now, so we're back together after 50 years. And we would play whatever popped into our heads, and we liked a little blues, we liked a little bluegrass, we liked rock and roll, so we played just about everything.
How many were in the band?
Just the three of us.
Oh.
We
Who was
were
the other one?
John Nutt.
Oh, okay.
And he plays with us now every once in a while. He
Yeah.
comes to my practice and plays, and he goes out to the song circle in Fairfield.
Oh, okay.
But Don always says we're the worst band you never heard. So, and we were consistent.
So with that being said, why don't you play an interesting song for us?
Well, this one, I wrote the chorus for this one when I was a teenager. And as the years went by, the verses changed. It was a simple song to start with, but it's called Doing What I Want to Do. Wait a minute. I'm tuned to so far we're sitting here. So you girls do some nice to each other while I play with this.
Well, it's my understanding that coming up here, August the 25th, there's something called International Front Porch Day. And you're supposed to get together on a front porch somewhere, sing songs, play music, talk about things, and just have a good time. So, Rose, what do you think? Are we going to get together on the front porch somewhere?
We sure are. We will be playing on the front porch at Crook's Farm in Bradford on the 25th and enjoying the day. This day started actually in 2013 and it is an international day. I was amazed. I went on actually on Facebook and looked up some things. And so it's spread to like 40 different countries. And a lot of different, and then a lot of cities within different countries. So it's to build community through music, and it's to say that music is something that we all enjoy, and that can bring us all together, and that is part of the purpose of the day that it was started.
And not only that, but don't you find that when we're all together and we're playing music and being a little giddy or whatever you want to call it, you forget about all your worries and woes?
Oh yeah.
And then what were you telling me about something about Zucchini Day? Take a zucchini to a neighbor day or something?
Yeah, I don't know where that came from, but it was like, there is this crazy day, which is sneak a zucchini to your neighbor's porch day.
Oh, okay.
From the overabundance in your garden of zucchinis.
What day is that?
The day before the front porch day or something like that,
And
I
what
think.
was August 8th day?
I can't remember.
But there are just
When
so many of these quirky little things going on.
That are fun to be together. Any excuse we have to get together is fun. So Kelly, are you tuned up?
I hope so.
Okay.
I go to church and I hear the preacher preach, and I go to Sunday school and I hear the teacher teach. Leave church still doing as I please, 'cause I'm doing what I want to do. I get up early, read my Bible every day. I spend some time with God as I pray. Head for work, Christian music on the way, but I'm still doing what I want to do. Doing what I want to do when I want to do what I want to do. Doing what I want to do and what I do and what I want to do when I want to do what I want to do when I want to do it. I know the good that I should do. Witness for Jesus all the day through. Be humble and compassionate too, but I'm still doing what I want to do. Doing what I want to do when I want to do what I want to do. Doing what I want to do. What I do and what I want to do when I want to do what I want to do when I want to do it. I realize the error of my ways. I drop to my knees and pray. I'm trying hard to love His way. Do what He wants me to do. Do what He wants me to do when He wants me to do what He wants me to do. Doing what He wants me to do and what He doing what He wants me to do when He wants me to do what He wants me to do when He wants me to do it. You guys can sing along.
Why can't you get those words straight?
Well, I gotta quit. Doing what I want to do when I want to do what I want to do. Doing what I want to do. What I do and what I want to do when I want to do what I want to do when I want to do it. Doing what I want to do when I want to do what I want to do. Doing what I want to do. Doing what I do and what I want to do when I want to do what I want to do when I want to do it.
Yeah.
Goodness. I couldn't do that.
Oh, that would take me a while to learn. I don't know if I could get that all out so fast.
I don't think my lips could move that fast.
Well, maybe
Well, they
did when
might
you
move
wrote
that
it.
fast, but the words would not be coming out quite right.
So, tell us some more things, or do you have another
Well, that song, it's really a self-examination, but I notice in a lot of people that Sunday morning I see all these good Christians at church, and then I see them Sunday afternoon at a restaurant, and it's not the same person.
Mm.
But then when I'm looking at them and judging them, I look at myself and say, well, you're the same way,
Yes.
you know? So that's what brought that song about.
That's a good song.
Where do you get your ideas to write?
Everywhere. Sometimes it's out of scripture. I'll be reading some verse in the Bible. Sometimes it's something somebody says at a song circle.
You mean like duct tape and roosters and that kind of stuff?
Yeah, all those kinds of things. And it depends. Well, like we just did a Christian song. I got another one here that I was reading in John 15:5 about Jesus being the vine and we being branches.
Right.
If we don't produce good fruit, He's going to cut us out. So
He prunes us so
He
that we will.
prunes us.
He prunes us so we will produce better fruit.
We'll produce better fruit. So I wrote a song about that.
Okay.
You're grafted in, can you tell her you're showing? You're grafted in, can you feel it as you grow? You're a fruitful branch, the Spirit's in you. As you mature, are there seeds all around? Are you sharing Jesus? Are you holding out your hand? Are you sharing Jesus? Making a stand? Do you help the other branches under stress? Do you encourage them to do their best? Keep growing, you're doing mighty fine. Let me help you, together the Lord is light. We're sharing Jesus. We're holding out our hand. We're sharing Jesus. We've taken our stand. Your heart is where He lets your soul His essence. As you love, as you give in His presence. So many people looking for it now. They need something and they need it now. Will you give them Jesus? Will you hold out your hand? Will you give them Jesus? Please take your stand. Will you give them Jesus? Will you hold out your hand? Will you give them Jesus? Please take a stand.
Boy, that was nice.
Very nice.
Good song.
I understand not too long ago, Ed Hansen received an award, and you rode with him there.
Oh yeah, I did. I didn't know you were going to ask that. Well, yeah, I did.
So could you tell me what your excursion was like?
Well, I'm looking for it because I named it Ed's Adventure. We went to the Greenwood Furnace Heritage Musician Festival last year, and I was honored to play with Ed as his backup band, me and Don Wisniewski. And
The three of you rode together, right?
three of us rode together in Don's minivan. So there's those three old bearded guys, all class of 1968, by the way. Ed graduated from Corey in 68, and Don and I graduated from Wattsburg in 1968. So us three old bearded weirdos went on this adventure. And but Ed got the award, and he did a really fine job. He was on the local TV, and he was in the paper here and stuff. Any of you that know Ed Hansen, he's a wonderful musician and a great encourager of other musicians.
Well, your trip there was a little different. Would you elaborate
Maybe
a
it
little
was
bit
at
on
your
that
home.
trip?
Well, I will elaborate with a song.
Okay.
We went on an adventure, getting recognized. Heritage musician is Greenwood Furnace pride. My buddy Don said, what could possibly go wrong? If there was nothing, we wouldn't have a song. town. Came to a detour, Don said, turn around. Don't worry, Kelly, Carmen will get us through. She will recalculate and so will you. And we went down. We went down. Miles down the road, the bridge was out. We turned on a dirt road, then a path for cows. To make a long story short, we made it to the side. A house to stay in, where we spent the night. And we went down. We went down. Next day we took the detour, everything was fine. At the ceremony, local media head did shine. We left the furnace, going to Warrior's Mark. Ed said he knows the way, Don gave Carmen a shot, and we went down. We went down. You think we'd have learned from last night's adventure? We went on Harry's Valley Road on Triumph turn. Then up PA Furnace, hairpin turns and steep incline. We got to the mountaintop, the view was divine. And we went down. We went down. West side of the mountain was like driving in a stream bed. Yet we were doing fine till we went over a piece of ledge. We hit so hard our bones hurt, everything went silent. But the minivan was running, so on we went. And we went down. And we went down. For a moment we thought they'd find us in the spring. Three bearded weirdos who went somewhere to sing. The moral of this story, at least the one I find, to reach the mountaintop you must make the climb. 'Cause we went down. Yes, we went down. 'Cause we went down. Yes, we went down.
And you did make it home safe.
No, we died.
I hate it when that happens.
That was some adventure. But it was,
Remember.
yes. Oh,
So
it was.
in there it says, and we went down. Would you kind of just briefly tell us what was going through your head when the van was stuck?
Well, we had hit, and like I said, we hit so hard our bones hurt. My jaw absolutely hurt. And none of us could hear anything. So it was like it did something to our ear canals. And we were amazed when it was still running. But this poor little minivan, and I said, we better get out and check for damage. And Don says, no, I don't want to know. We just went down the hill. We waited till we got the pavement. We got out, we laid underneath there, and we looked for oil or whatever, you know. But it was okay.
But what an experience. You'll never forget that, will you?
Never.
And I don't think we will either.
And a great song. A great song came out of it. Not all of your songs come out of your adventures,
No.
do they?
No, they come out of other people's adventures. There's, of course, Heidi. Our friend Heidi had
Yes,
a problem with her car,
she did.
she was driving down the road and she started to hear this loud noise, and she said, what could that possibly be? So she stopped, and her bumper was dragging, her front bumper. So she had to get it fixed. So she went to the first house, who happened to be friends, and they took zip ties and they zip tied her bumper on, and that happened in May of 2016, and it's still holding that bumper on. So zip ties work.
And did you write a song about that?
Yeah, it's called the Zip Ties and Duct Tape. I Google songs with a duct tape tune, thousands of hits, country, boogie, or blues. They had rolled it up all nice and tidy. Not a single one of them mentioned Heidi. Zip tie boogie and the duct tape blues. They hold it all together, and that's not true. She got the zip tie boogie and duct tape blues. Driving down the road, she heard something bang. She stopped and found her bumper was hanging. She went to a friend's house before it's too late to get some zip ties and duct tape. She got the zip tie boogie and duct tape blues. They hold it all together, and that's not true. She got the zip tie boogie and duct tape blues. Used to be zip ties were black and white. Duct tape was silver, and that was alright. Now they come in patterns and colors too. You can match them to whatever you do. She got the zip tie boogie, duct tape blues. They hold it all together, and that's not true. She got the zip tie boogie and duct tape blues. She can mix metal, plastic, or wood. The right duct tape makes it look good. She's got it all wrapped up tight, you see. You can call Heidi the duct tape queen. She got the zip tie boogie, the duct tape blues. They hold it all together, that's not true. She got the zip tie boogie and duct tape blues. I've seen it on a guitar, right down the middle. Maybe I might spell somewhere, but not on a fiddle. And I must confess, Queen Heidi lied. I have duct tape on my Bible. She got the zip tie boogie, duct tape blues. They hold it all together, that's not true. She got the zip tie boogie and duct tape blues. She's got the zip tie boogie and duct tape blues.
Oh, that's wonderful. Well, while we're all recovering from the zip tie boogie and duct tape blues, we're going to take a brief intermission here and go have one of our special coffees. We'll be right back, and we're here at WWCB AM 1370 Kickin' Country. See you shortly.
This will just be a quick break, so stay right here on our front porch. Right here on WWCB 1370 Kickin' Country. Thanks for sticking with us. Now let's get back to the front porch with Connie, Rose, and Margaret right here on AM 1370 Kickin' Country.
Well, here we are back at WWCB 1370 AM Kickin' Country. We're here on the front porch. We are the Front Porch Rockers, and our guest today not only is a guest, but he's a friend, and what a friend he is. He makes the absolute best pies I have ever had in my life. So if you're ever down on the front porch with us, please stop by and taste his pies.
They're fabulous.
Yeah, we got one of those get-togethers coming up pretty quick here for our pies.
Well, do you know what's going to happen this Saturday, Kelly, at our house, at the front porch?
Saturday, that's right.
Yes.
Anyway, what we're going to do is, Margaret will tell you because she's the one that's doing
our
it.
jam is on Saturday. We get together about once a month during the summer, and we play music for kind of a long time. Everybody raises their eyebrows when we tell them how long we play music, but it flies by, and we eat together. And when Kelly comes, he always brings wonderful, very, very tender crust pies. And anyway, this Saturday we're going to do a cake float. And after dusk, at dusk or after dark, we float a cake across the pond, and in the dark the candles glitter and reflect off the water, and we can hear the frogs and all the crickets and the wonderful sounds in the evening. So that we're going to just take time out for music to do that, but we usually are pretty busy playing music.
Kelly, it sounds like a song to me.
You got to swim to eat cake?
No. No.
That was my question, yeah.
No.
Awful soggy cake after it,
Sounds like-
No, we have it connected to a fishing line, and we reel it across. Starts across the pond, and we reel it
I'm just
across.
picturing you cast this.
Yeah.
And what did you catch today? Oh, cake.
Fun.
So, Kelly, you've been over the years, you said you played with Don Wisniewski, and hopefully Don and Jean will be here and on the program in a few weeks. And you've played with other bands. Tell us something about some of the bands that you played with or that you're playing with currently.
Well, currently I'm playing with Salvation's Road, and we're a Christian band, and we play wherever anybody will let us play. We'll go to your church, we'll do a special service or Sunday morning service or whatever. But we're doing the Waterford Fair on September 8th, and we'll be at 5 p.m. at the gazebo there. And then Union City, the Fall Festival at the Fire Hall on September 29th. We're playing at 8:45, and I understand you girls will be there before us.
Yes.
Yes, we will.
What a wonderful time that is, because not only could we listen to you, you'll listen to us, and then afterwards we can get together and jam a little bit together.
Yeah. That's one of the fun things about going to the music festivals is that afterwards we all get together like one big happy family, or sometimes there are 2 or 3 groups and we just can sit and jam and play.
And if you think the entertainment on the stage is good, when you get 2 or 3 of these groups together, sometimes what I have experienced is the really good performances are afterwards, when we're all relaxed and just doing our thing.
Just jamming, yep.
Yeah. So tell us a little bit about how Salvation's Road became.
Well, I was in a band called Broken Wire, and I had me and another couple adults, and we had a whole bunch of teenagers, and they all wanted to get over their stage fright and play their guitars or whatever up on stage. So I told them I would play with them if they would put in the time. So they put in the time, and we were a band for probably about 5 years till they all grew up and graduated high school and went their separate ways. But we had a really good time, and then one day this lady come up to me in church and she says, "My husband plays guitar and sings. Can he play and sing with you?" I said, "Sure." She goes, "But he works second shift." So I said, "Well, I can play with him during the day, but the kids can't." So we started playing, me and Steve Cook started playing together, and one day Rick Ayers and Jim King come up and says, "Hey, we want to sing in a gospel thing too. We want to sing with you." So we started Salvation's Road, and we had 2 separate bands there for a while until the kids grew up and went away. And now we just have Salvation's Road, and I think I have to pass away to get out of that.
I don't know.
We're not younger.
No, and there are 6 now?
There are
With the 2 Jims, Big Jim, Little Jim.
Big Jim,
Don.
Little Jim, Rick Ayers, Don
Yourself.
Mead, and Beth Hardy is our fiddle player.
Yeah, and Beth, the only woman.
She keeps us in line.
Yeah,
You have to have a woman.
yeah. So, do you want to do one of the songs that you have written for them, or are you going to do something else?
This is one I wrote for them. Well, actually, I wrote it before them.
Okay.
A lady come up to me in church one Sunday, and she goes, "When all have forsaken, he has not. Now you go home and write a song." So she was older than me. She grew up in the 50s, so I took a 50s chord progression, and I wrote a song for her. forsaken, He has not. When all have left me, or forgot, His love still present in my heart. As I walk this lonely street, His words a lamp unto my feet, His love's a wall surrounding me with His presence. Walking with Jesus every day, it's not a burden in any way. His Spirit comes to seal your faith. His hope abounds in every way, and we will now and always be in His presence. Walking with Jesus every day, it's not a burden in any way. To know His love, His grace and peace, to know He'll hold us for eternity and beyond time, and heaven will be in His presence. Walking with Jesus every day, it's not a burden in any way. When I'm forsaken, He has not. When all have left me, or forgot, His love still present in my heart. His love still present in my heart.
Nice.
Very
I'm
nice.
sure she enjoyed her song that you wrote.
She did. She loved it. And every time I'd play it at church, I would mention that
Yes.
it's her song. And
Yes.
she would just, blush and stuff.
Yeah.
She's since passed away, but her husband will still come have me play it so he can do
It's
it.
wonderful.
That's nice. It was, I played keyboard with Salvation's Road for, I don't know, year and a half,
Something like that, yeah.
something like that, and it's a fun group. And I'm hoping at some point down the road we can have the group come in and do
Absolutely.
a program.
That'd be great.
Yeah. So we may wait a little while or see if we can find a little bigger space, since there are
Yeah.
a few.
Yeah, we're
more.
squeezed into your radio here, so it's close. Or your computer.
I can remember Bob and I went over to Waterford when you were performing, and Rose, you were with them then, but you weren't on keyboard. Were you on
Because
keyboard?
The keyboard wasn't portable, and we were in that small historical thing.
Right.
We couldn't
Oh,
fit it in there, so she
right.
took her guitar.
That's what I thought I saw you do.
Yeah, that was the only time she played the guitar.
Yeah, yeah. What a nice time it was, and the music is fabulous.
Yeah.
We always-
And then afterwards, after the performance, we all went over to the church, right?
Yeah, the Church of the Nazarene in their little Owens Hall, and we jammed. So
Right.
that was
Right.
fun, too, yeah.
Oh yeah, that's what we did.
Yes, it
Yeah.
was wonderful.
So sometimes we write songs just out of our head, but sometimes you got an old tune that you really, really like the tune, but the words don't fit to sing in churches and stuff, whereas most of the time I play. So
So
sometimes-
are you referring to a song, something called Satin Sheets?
No. I would never do that song again. No, I was thinking of House of the Rising Sun.
Oh, that's awesome.
Okay.
Would you
Yeah.
play that for us, please?
Yeah, but I call it House of the Risen Sun.
Oh.
There is a house in heaven for me. God said He prepared a place where I will see my Lord someday, and we'll meet face to face. My Father prayed for me all life, prayed I'd come to Him, but I was blind and pulled myself a slave to my sin. My father was a sinner too. He believed he'd have for me, but he came to the Lord one day when he feared the time was near. I hope to go to heaven someday, but I was dead in sin. Then I met the risen Son, and I put my faith in Him. Now, mothers, tell your children not to do what I have done. Don't spend your life in sin and misery. Look to the risen Son. There is a house in heaven for me. God said He prepared a place where I will see my Lord someday, and we'll meet face to face. Where I will see my Lord someday, and we'll meet face to face.
Nice.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah. You know, that's a tradition with some of our older hymns. In the Methodist Church, Charles Wesley wrote a lot of words to the very popular or songs that were being sung in bars.
Right.
And so you're in tradition.
Well, and back when I first became a Christian in the early 70s, I should say when I first came to a relationship with Jesus, because saying Christian doesn't mean that much anymore, but when I first came to a relationship with Jesus, a lot of the songs that we heard on Christian radio was rock songs that somebody put different words to. So,
When you write music, do you start with words or do you start with music?
yes.
Okay.
It for me, and I've talked to a lot
Yeah.
of people that'll either a lyricist
Yeah,
or they write music. But for me, it comes as a package.
I see.
I will, something will pop in my head and it comes with the tune enclosed. And all I have to do is figure out what key that is and try to sing it. So,
Wow. Well, it doesn't seem that easy, but it looks easy when you do it.
Do you write out the melody, the notes, or do you just
I
write the
cannot
chord
write
pattern?
music. I call them dots, and my wife gets upset with me, but I can't read those little dots. I know they go up and down, and I've tried, but it takes more patience than I have. So I pretty much just memorize all of my melodies and write the chords.
Yeah. Has your wife ever written the music?
She tried to write it out for me, but she got a little frustrated with me, and that hasn't happened.
Okay.
But she loves me. We've got 44 years of marital bliss. So
Well,
it's
congratulations.
Yeah.
She's
Yeah.
lovely. She's a lovely lady. Well, I see your chords. I don't even know enough about it to say this, ask this question correctly, but you can date them by the sound.
pretty much. Pretty much.
Interesting.
There's a progression. Well, any songwriter, if you listen to the early Beatles compared to the late Beatles, it's like two totally different bands. And any songwriter as you age, as you change, your chord progression changes, your voice changes, and your lyrics change because you're at a different place in your life. And as we each get to those different places, we write different things.
I was told that depending upon your frame of mind, if you're tired, if you're excited or depressed, will also determine what key you will do a song in at that given time. Has that ever happened to you?
Well, I don't really pay attention to what key I'm going to play in because it just happens. But I have noticed that the song I'm writing, the key will be based more on the lyrics. Like the song I'm looking at here, I was reading in Ezekiel 18 one time. And in Ezekiel 18, God's talking to Ezekiel, and he says, you have a saying that when the father eats sour grapes, the kid's teeth are set on edge. He says, and which means if the father sins, the kids are held responsible for the father's sin. He says, that's not the way it is. He says, the soul that sins is the one that would die. And I wrote this song, and my wife read the song and says, you need to change that. Because the soul that sins is the one that dies, not uplifting. So I changed it to, blessed is the man whose sin is not held against him. And she liked that better. But I named the song Ezekiel 18 because that's where it came from. Blessed is the man whose sin is not held against him. He is the one who finds peace in the Lord. God takes no pleasure in the death of anyone. It's his will, none shall perish. He wants to hold you in his arms. God's grace, sealed with His Spirit, filled with His love, and hope to endure. Take up a lament for the lost. You can place your sorrow on Him, He paid the cost. It's time to quit the struggle. It's time to come home. Come in and find peace. You're not alone. Come in and find peace. You are not alone.
Oh, I love that. That's so nice. I love the minor that it's written in.
And I tend sometimes to write in a minor key. I like to say I have a minor voice, so I need a minor key.
I don't know.
Well, with that, it's time for us to take a little break here. And we are at Kickin' Country, WWCB 1370 AM on the radio. We are the Front Porch Rockers, and our program is the Front Porch, and we're with Kelly Sheldon today. We were back shortly. We're just going to take a little commercial break.
This will just be a quick break, so stay right here on our Front Porch. Right here on WWCB 1370 Kickin' Country. Thanks for sticking with us. Now let's get back to the Front Porch with Connie, Rose, and Margaret right here on AM 1370 Kickin' Country.
Welcome back to the Front Porch. We're here at WWCB 1370 AM, Kickin' Country, and we're the Front Porch Rockers. And with us today is Kelly Sheldon, not only a friend, but a singer-songwriter. And Kelly, I understand that you wrote a song, something about On Your Way Home from Corey. Is that right?
What happened was we were sitting around chatting at the Song Circle on Tuesday night at Todd's. A little plug for Todd there. And as we're sitting around singing these things, Pastor Rob asked me, "Where do you get these songs, you know?" And I said, "Well, on my way home, I'll think about a couple words that rhyme and a three-chord progression, and I'll write a song." He said, "Well, that's a song. You've got to write a song about that." So on my way home that night, I wrote this song. On my way home from Corey to Elgin in North on 89, I think of a three-chord progression and a couple of words that rhyme. You may wonder the topic, something said or something not. Mostly I'm just happy, singing and having fun. There's Drew in the elevator, Dave's dogs and apple poo, Civil War chicken challenge, all from Todd's musical petting zoo. On my way home from Corey to Elgin in North on 89, I think of a three-chord progression and a couple of words that rhyme. We have instrumental improvement and a circle of song. Honey, do the follow man, how can we go wrong? The adventures of Queen Heidi, zip ties and duct tape blues, a couple of songs about me, and maybe one about you. On my way home from Corey to Elgin in North on 89, I think of a three-chord progression and a couple of words that rhyme. Just a three-chord progression and a couple of words that rhyme.
That's great. You know, as a child growing up, I didn't see too much of my dad, Kelly. As many children growing up don't see their one or other parent as much as they would like to. How was it with you when you were growing up with your dad? And
So when I was growing up, we had a large family. We had 7 boys and 1 girl. And the girl was the one just younger than me. And Dad had to work. He worked a full-time job 6 days a week, and in his spare time he laid blocks. So he was either making blocks at Duccini's in Erie, or he was laying blocks in his spare time. And once us older boys got old enough, we would work with him, so we got some time with him. But my younger brothers didn't have that advantage. They never got to play with Dad. But as you get older, you think back to that time with Dad, and the most important thing in your life isn't the things, and it's the time. Whenever I see my sons, they're in their 40s now, and that's, remember the time, that's what they remember. So when I wrote this song, it actually was sparked by Todd. He wrote a thing on Facebook about his dad, and I says, boy, isn't that true for all of us? We didn't pay attention to Dad back in the day. So the name of this song is The Shadow of My Dad. My father worked and toiled when I was just a kid. I wish I paid attention to all the things he did. We had more love than money. The life we had was good. His effort for his wife and kids, I wish I'd understood. It took time and it took muscle. It took pain and sacrifice. He worked hard and he hustled to make a better life. He planted the seeds, his legacy, the shadow of my dad. Now I plant seeds of faith and deeds in everything I do. I try to make a better world for my family too. I guess I paid more attention than I thought I had, because now I see the him and me, the shadow of my dad. It takes time and it takes muscle. It takes pain and sacrifice. I come home and I hustle to make a better life. Planting the seeds he planted in me, the shadow of my dad. Now we've another generation to follow along, planting the seeds from in their hearts. His worker's song, I hope in some little way, through all I've done and said, that they will be his legacy, the shadow of my dad. It'll take time and it'll take muscle, pain and sacrifice. They'll work hard and they'll hustle to have a better life. And all the seeds of love they plant, the shadow of my dad. And all the seeds of love they plant, the shadow of my dad.
Oh, that's wonderful.
It's a very tender song.
Yes.
It's funny, you know, when you see your dad and yourself, you see those TV commercials where he's turning into his mother or she's turning into her dad. But my wife and I see that ourselves, and every once in a while she'll call me Robert, because I'm acting just like my dad. But then again, I'll go to my son's house and hear him say something to my grandchildren, and he sounds just like me. So it's passed on. It's a 20-year echo or 40-year echo or whatever it is.
I have often said something, and instantly it's like, I sound just like my mother?
It's scary. But it can be good.
It's good.
It's good, though. It's good.
But like we were saying, it's all about the time that you get to spend. And, you know, your kids will say, remember the time. And there are people that don't have anybody to spend time with them. And we all need to take a moment and spend time with somebody who needs that. Just for us to sit and listen to them. And I wrote a song about that. It's called You Got a Moment? Have you got a moment? Do you have any time? Have you got a minute to be a friend of mine? Have you got a moment? Can you sit a spell? Have you got a minute for the things I need to tell? 'Cause I need love. Oh, I need love. Can you take a through my tears, out my pain and sorrow, my hopes and my tears. Can you hear my heart and can you feel my pain? You don't need to fix me, but love me just the same. I need love. Oh, I need love. I'll tell you of the time when I was just a kid. Tell you of the good and the bad things we did. Of all the things that changed me as I became a man. All my gains and losses, just listen if you can. I need love. Oh, I need love. Have you got a moment? Do you have any time? Have you got a minute to be a friend of mine? Have you got a moment? Can you sit a spell? Have you got a minute for the things I need to tell? 'Cause I need love. Oh, I need love. I need love. Oh, I need love.
I think that's why the music has been so important, because you validate someone when you take the time to listen to their song, and I think the music is very powerful. At least it has been for me.
Well, the last few years since I met you, you've just amazed me. When I first met you, you were learning how to play the violin again, I guess.
Yes.
And now I go to Todd's, and you play the violin, and you play the guitar, and you play the Indian flute, and you play the
Auto harp.
Auto harp. And I'm like,
Well,
really?
there's all this candy in the store. Why not have a little taste?
And that's true. And if you go to my house, I have an upright bass, and I don't know how many guitars, and mandolins, and banjos.
Yes, and you play them.
And you can't help yourself.
I know, it's a whole array of candies.
But some people will sit and they go, the only thing I can play is the radio. And you're playing the radio now, or you're playing the computer. But take a moment, pick something up, and try it. Just try it. You might be surprised what you can play.
And the people.
And the people
I have
you
been
meet.
so, my life is changed by you people. You're
I hope it's
amazing.
for the better.
Yes. It sure has.
And you hear things at a song circle that you don't hear growing up. You know, people will tell you a story and you go, I've never heard that phrase before. You know, it's local yokel talk, whatever you might call it. You know, like yuns and ussens and emmons, you know, all that good stuff. But we were one song circle, and Drew said, "Yeah, I'm going to go home and milk the chicken." I never heard milk the chicken before. But I thought that's a good. I got to put that in a song.
Yes.
I need that, you know. So I wrote honeydew,
Okay.
using that phrase. Got up this morning, nothing much to do. Guess I'll go down and catch a fish or two and milk the chicken. That's what I'll do. But my wife got up with her list of honeydew. Honey, do this. Honey, do that. Honey, do everything that you can. You're not milking any chickens. I know what you plan to do. And you're not going fishing till you do your honeydew. I have to go out, get some supplies. Don't worry, honey, I would never lie. I need some glue, some boards and some nails, and probably something else that never fails. I stopped down my fishing hole. I just happened to have my pole, and I'm cooking chickens, enjoying the day. And she'll never know, that's what I pray. Honey, do this. Honey, do that. Honey, do everything that you can. You're not milking any chicken. going fishing, will you do you? I do. I feel the guilt deep within. Maybe lying to your wife's some kind of sin, but I want to go to chicken and catch a fish or two. Then I'll go home and do my honey-do. I went back to the house. There I found one very angry spouse. She was madder than a wet hen. Calm down, we'll start again. But first I'll stroke my feathers and confess my sin. This time I'll do this, and I'll do that. I'll do everything that I can. I won't milk any chickens till I do what I do. I should have done them in the first place. That's what honeys do. I should have done them in the first place. That's what honeys do.
That's great.
You have to remember that one.
Yes.
It's a good song.
So I don't know how much time we got left.
We're
Time enough for at least one more song.
okay.
So we'll do another one that came up at the song circle. Heidi again. Heidi's my muse or whatever you call her. She'll say something. I have a song, but she was struggling with a B minor one night, and she says, "I can't." I said, "What are you doing over there?" She says, "I'm chasing the chord that escapes me." That's a song, right? So of course it's in B minor.
Of course.
So
And you know she can play a B minor now.
she plays a B minor now,
Yeah.
but there's always one more chord.
Oh.
And
That's true.
we'll chase that one until we get it. So to play, it's B minor, then E minor, back to B minor, back to E minor, and then it's G, F sharp, E minor. I'm chasing the chord that escapes me. I can see it clearly in my mind, but I can't seem to get my fingers to make it for me just one time. On the paper or iPad, they wrote it. They even drew a picture to see. But I can't seem to get my fingers to make a B minor for me. Well, I'm okay if there are no chord changes. I'm just fine to change from D. When I really get into trouble, it's going to be minor from G. Well, I guess I'll just have to practice until I get this chord down. Then there'll be another
wonderful. That's great.
And you're right. There always is another chord.
Always.
I've been trying to learn some jazz chords, and
Yep.
Yep.
And as you get arthritis, it really, really gets hard.
yeah. Well, I think one of the things is that you don't have to play the B minor.
Fully
Wait.
barred.
Yeah, fully barred. And what I have heard is that women have more trouble barring chords than men do. And I don't know if that's because the strength of the fingers in a man's hand are stronger to be able to do that, or their hands are larger.
Or just longer and fatter.
Maybe. I don't know.
But then again, I have seen women that can do this stuff that
Yeah.
where you can stretch 5 frets, and I can't do that.
Yeah.
So, and part of it, if you watch a piano player, you know, some stars start off as piano players, and they work on stretching the long, as far as you can stretch them. And that makes it easier when you're doing your bar chords. I see you do more bar chords, Rosie, than I see other people because of your piano skills.
Yeah, because I used to take my hand and just press it up against the piano and hold it there so my fingers would stretch out, besides running the exercises, but to
I
stretch
played piano years ago, and as you can see, I have a relatively large hand, and I am an octave +2.
it. So am I.
Oh.
What's that mean? me and Margaret are going, what's she talking about?
On the piano, it's a 10-note stretch.
Okay.
So
Because you can't do an octave on a guitar because that's a 12
yes, no.
stretch. Yeah, maybe, you know, Godzilla or something.
But well, Kelly, this has just been wonderful. And where are you playing next? Where's Salvation's Road, or where can we go to hear you?
Well,
Always at Todd's on a Tuesday night.
Todd's on Tuesday night. We're
Right.
mostly there.
It's 218 Maple Avenue in Corey.
Can't miss it. There's a sign over the door, right on the park. And the next time my band's playing will be September 8th, again at the Waterford Fair in the gazebo at 5 p.m. And then we'll be doing the Union City Fall Festival September 29th, and we'll be 8:45 in the fire hall. And you girls will be on at 6.
Earlier.
And this is my first experience, well, my second time to do this.
Oh.
So I'm pretty excited.
So you're pumped. Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe petrified.
There's a song for you, Kelly.
Petrified Margaret.
Oh, no.
Or Petrified First Timer.
Actually,
Petrified First Time in the Park.
I'm not petrified. I'm a warrior. Just tell me. Let me tell you.
And I'm going to put a plug in for the Conneaut Creek String Band. They're going to be at North Hills on Friday night, August 17th, from 7 to 9. And there's always good music on a Friday night at North Hills. Saturday, up at the Corey Country Club, there's an open mic. If you want to go and try and sing, or if you just want to go up and hear some people sing. Margaret, you go up there sometimes, and you
Fabulous.
and
And it starts a little earlier, doesn't it? Start at 6?
to
It
nine
starts
up at
6
the
to-
Fork and Barrel.
yeah, 6 to 9 at the Fork and Barrel.
What
And
night's
so
Saturday night.
Saturday.
nights.
Yeah, and there's a really nice group of local musicians who are up there singing. Kelly Way is the hostess, and Triple Fret is the house band that kind of plays first.
And you can eat lovely meals.
Neat, lovely
Yes,
meals.
you can.
Hey, there's a hillbilly flying coming in Linesville too, coming up.
Right, and when is that?
Boy, I'm trying to remember off the top of my head. It was the same weekend as
Is that the
something else.
Is it the same weekend as
it's the 11th of the 10th and 11th, I think, of August.
the same as Wattsburg?
The same as
Fair
the
Wattsburg
Wattsburg Bluegrass.
Right.
Yes.
But there's also going to be music jams going on down there, and I was talking with one of the organizers who said that some of the pilots who are flying in are looking forward to jamming, and they may bring an instrument with them, and so they're looking
We'll check with
forward.
Mary
So
Lou. Yeah.
I think Friday night down there is going to be the big jam night, although there will be things going on all through the week. But
And that's
Friday
in
night,
Lionsville at the airport, huh?
So do you want
Yes.
to come along? It's going to be fun.
sure.
Sure.
Well, that being said, as always, our time always flies by so quickly. Kelly, we just want to thank you for being with us this day, because it has been wonderful.
Thank you for having me.
Been fun.
Would you come back again if we ask you?
Sure. And bring the whole band if we get room.
Oh, good.
We will, yes.
Is that a date? Is that a deal?
That's,
I'm going to hold you to it now.
that's fine.
Okay, then. I am Connie,
And I'm Margaret.
And I'm Rose.
and
Thank you, Kelly.
yes, it's been a pleasure. We are the Front Porch Rockers. We're here at the Front Porch at WWCB 1370 AM on the radio station, Kickin' Country. And it is a fond farewell for today, but we will be back.
Well, that wraps up this episode of The Front Porch. We're mighty thankful you stopped by. The Front Porch was hosted by Connie, Rose, and Margaret, and they're sure going to miss you till next week. Make sure you like Kickin' Country 1370 on Facebook, and don't forget to check out our website, wwcbradio.com. The Front Porch is recorded and produced by Kevin Thomas exclusively on AM 1370 WWCB Kickin' Country.